Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm the microphone messiah, Phillip. I'm here with the agent of chaos, Katie Scarlett, and the Bulletcast podcast champion, Brandon Tanguma, Mr. No Days Off. It's a Sunday night. Yesterday was Survivor Series. It was a great event. Had a lot of fun. Was at a watch party at Oasis Pro. Shout out Katie for sliding through and joining us.
So
Guys,
much fun.
yes, it was a great time. One of the best times. How you guys doing today?
I'm
Doing
doing
great.
doing excellent.
Still champ. Shout out. Still standing. Can't take me down.
I don't know. I feel like I should contest it considering I was the one who, was talking about the fifth person being announced at SmackDown and called it.
So was the internet. We talked about this yesterday. So was the internet.
I'm still salty.
Well, so if we had said, okay, if she shows up, you get the point, sure. But we didn't say
I'm
that before.
still salty. I will always be salty. I should have won.
We didn't say that beforehand. Thus,
Mm.
I mean, if Katie didn't bring it up, I was gonna bring up Becky Lynch anyway. So
I mean, if we didn't say it beforehand and we just do it now, thus that's unfair to the champion. So we can't just do things like that.
Yeah. What is this?
It was a three-way tie. It happens when there's multiple people on the show. The law has always been instilled. If you tie with the champion, they retain.
I feel like I should get bonus points because I got the triple threat match right, and I pretty much got the finish right too.
Wow! Hey, that was a great finish. That was one of
It
the
was
best.
an excellent finish. I will say that.
All right, we are going to talk about this. Let's get to it. Brandon, start it off.
Oh, thank you. So we were in the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Shout out Michael Cole, Corey Graves doing the commentary. We kicked it off with Ozzy Osbourne doing the intro, lip syncing War Pigs. Love it. I thought it was a great intro. We start off the match with the War Games match, and that would be the women's War Games match of Team Belair, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Michin, Mia Yim. She has both names apparently, and Becky Lynch. They defeated Team Bailey, which is Damage Control, with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. This was the longest match of the night at 39 minutes, 40 seconds. Katie, what did you think of this opener to War Games, which happened to be a War Games match? Who would have thought?
I think that it was an absolutely incredible way to start off the premium live event. Every single person in that ring brought something to the table, and it was absolutely fantastic. We got some tower spots. We got some excellent table work. I wish there had been more tables. But we got one. We got one. We were okay. Really excited for Team Belair. Super excited about the pops that we got for Becky and for Bianca. Honestly, Damage Control held their own though. They were kick-ass.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the match. It was definitely much different than the main event match. This was much more of the spot fest, if you want to call it that. And I probably would say I'm like a little bit more down because it was just like a spot fest, and there was, some clunkiness in there, but the action I thought was good. I did kind of question of if the finish is going to be Becky Lynch jumping off the top of the cage. Maybe you shouldn't do other top of the cage spots, especially like the Nikki Cross one, which just seemed so meaningless and just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But like the Nikki Cross Alexa Bliss thing in the middle with the handcuffs that clearly didn't fit each other, but they were like just holding on by a thread, and then they like did one spot with the handcuffs, and then Alexa Bliss just got out of them for whatever reason. But the story in the match, it was just kind of there. There was really no story. I mean, like individually, I thought every wrestler kind of had their own little moment to shine, especially like Rhea Ripley, who wasn't really attached to her team, but she got to do Rhea Ripley things, doing her pull-ups. The internet loved those. Phillip, what did you think of this opener? Definitely much different than the other War Games match.
Yes. I thought because there were so many weapons in this one that the other match wouldn't have any weapons. It would just be kind of big and somewhat medium-sized men slapping meat, which it still was, even though there were weapons in that one. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. Shout out Dakota Kai being the just the ragdoll dummy for the whole thing. Jesus Christ. We got the EO spot, the moonsault off the cage. There was no trash can this time. Um,
She did wear a trash can though.
she did wear a trash can. Yes, yes, yes. Becky Lynch looking like a million bucks, kind of doing a little Vince strut when she was going to the what was that, the shark tank, or what do they call it? No, they what do they call it when they hoist somebody above
A
the
shark cage.
the shark cage? Yeah. I don't know. I said tank. Go Sharks out in San Jose. But yeah, no, it was just a good piece of business. The Rhea Ripley pull-ups, mommy doing her thing. She had a busy weekend with Dominic invading the Mysterio household and beating up Rey Mysterio on Thanksgiving, which was actually hilarious to me. Mia Yim Meechin looking good. Who else shined? Of course, Bianca shined throughout this thing. Bailey taking that KOD onto the cage was nasty. The finish was great. Io and Dakota getting put through that table. It looked like the table was kind of breaking. Like when they did the wide shot, I was like, I hope she drops fast, or this is gonna be a meme for a very long time. But it happened. They did it. Shout out to Team Belair. Got the big dubski. Yeah. Asuka went off too, which was great. Love it.
Yeah,
Love Asuka. Nobody was ready. Still, all these years later, nobody's ready for Asuka.
never.
Will anybody be ready for Asuka?
No. I'm ready to move on to the next match though.
Hilarious.
Dun, dun, dun.
The second match was Finn Balor taking on AJ Styles in a catch your breath, just long match that probably didn't need to be that long, but it was 18 minutes 25 seconds.
Before you continue, what was the time on the women's War Games?
It was the longest one on the show, according to Wikipedia, which never lies.
Never lies.
Children out there, it's a great source of information to quote it on your book reports and history reports. 39 minutes, 40 seconds.
Don't listen to them.
Okay.
Okay, you don't quote Wikipedia, you quote what Wikipedia is quoting. So, you go down there, you click the little numbers.
The references at the bottom and then use those.
Yeah, see, we're teaching kids out there how to do the least for their homework.
Don't forget
You're
to
welcome.
remember MLA format.
Yes. Feel like I'm back
And
in college.
bring out that spacing by a half an inch and 1.5 spacing.
Yes, and don't put messages in your paragraphs to insult your professor. Don't do that.
Nope, don't do that.
Yes. Unless you can get
Anyways,
by all means.
AJ Styles, Finn Balor. AJ wins. Just kind of a long match for the sake of being a long match. It was fine. Nobody got hurt. That's all we can ask for, Phillip.
Loved it. Loved the calf crusher spot, and then they reenact the Brock Lesnar spot where he grabs AJ's head and just bangs him, which was at a Survivor Series.
Yep.
Thought that was fun. It happened. AJ getting his first singles pay-per-view win since like Crown Jewel 2019, which is an amazing stat. I loved all the Bullet Club mention on WWE programming and IWGP and naming Finn's other dealings in Japan and AJ's dealings in Japan as well. Thought that was fun. Oh yeah, but hey, I mean, Judgment Day, they've come a long way. They've really added to Finn Balor. This is a one of the best versions of Finn Balor we've seen on WWE programming, regardless of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, etc. And glad AJ finally got this big win. But where do we go from here?
They just keep having tag team matches, and then Rhea and Mia Yim have some matches, and then maybe Edge and Beth Phoenix show up.
And then maybe I thought
Judgment Day, for better for worse, I feel is just like the time filler for Raw. Like they have all the members, you can split them off and have a bunch of different matches that can fill an hour and a half to the 3 hours, and crowd doesn't, they appreciate them, but they're not exactly loving some Judgment Day except for Rhea Ripley for reasons.
Big reasons.
Yes.
Katie, were there any reasons you liked this match or didn't like this match?
I feel like out of all of the matches, this one isn't high on my card. It was fun to watch. Finn and AJ turned it out, but I feel like the War Games matches, the triple threat match, they were just better, in my opinion.
All right. Moving on to the third match, we had Ronda Rousey defending her SmackDown Women's title against Shotzi. Shout out, Town Business. Unfortunately, Shotzi dedicated this match to her dead father, and she pulled a Davy Boy. She did not end up getting the dub. She lost as Ronda beat her in 17 minutes, 15 seconds. This one, if Jim Ross was calling, maybe would have said it was Bull and Shoe Ugly. There was some mess ups at times. It didn't look so pretty, but Ronda got it done at the end of the day. Apparently, there was some Sasha Banks chants or "We Want Sasha" chants that were muted during this match. I think a lot of people just saw this as a person for Ronda to beat, and that's who it was. And they set up, I think, Raquel Rodriguez later down the line, saying she's injured, but she'll make a comeback and probably be a big opponent for Ronda down the line. But the match itself was meh.
What's the
Katie,
time on
what did
this?
you think? I said 7 minutes, 15 seconds. Come on, Phillip. Pay attention to me, please.
Sorry, I got Brett and Austin on the screen.
Wow.
Yeah, this particular match, least favorite of the night. It felt like they did our girl Shotzi dirty just because they were like, oh, we're just gonna throw her into a ring with Ronda and see what sort of torment she can deal with. And I don't know. I don't like that.
I mean, Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet, UFC Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
She's gonna go out there, have a match with somebody. They're gonna take some pain and lose. Unless you Liv Morgan and roll her up a couple times, but that's neither here nor there. Town Business. We were cheering for that girl, man. Brandon, you should have been.
Yeah.
Where were you at?
Yeah, where were you?
Well, yesterday I woke up in Fresno because I was doing family Thanksgiving things, and then I had to come down, and there was traffic and all that other fun stuff.
Excuse.
For the Royal Rumble, Bullet Cast will be in the building for the Oasis watch party.
Yep.
All of us. This could have been done yesterday if you were there, but no.
Okay, so it's all my fault.
Yes.
Yep, all your fault.
Yes, it is. 1000%. Yeah, nobody hurt. Nobody asked for time to move on.
I will say I do like it finally happened. We get the pairing of Shayna and Ronda. And I do like that pairing. I think Shayna adds a nice dynamic to it. And I do wonder, like remember when Ronda first debuted and we're like, oh, how great she was, and she's gonna be great at this. And I don't know if it's like she plateaued or she's just not getting better or not learning as much, but I do wonder like why Ronda hasn't taken that next step since her first run, where she was having pretty much like really good matches every single time out, but now she's with the Livs and the Shotsies and now with the Beckys and Charlottes, and she's not exactly lighting it up.
You can't forget the
Nia Jaxes. Of course, Nia Jaxes. I mean,
those two matches were dope, bro. Like people poo on Nia Jax. Nia was holding it together for Ronda in those matches. I'll say it. Nia Jax, love you. Would love for you to be a guest on the show. Somebody put this out there to her. But yeah.
Maybe slide in the DMs, ask Lena Fanene. I think that's what her name is.
I haven't DM slid in a long time. That's during the pandemic, I was one of the biggest DM sliders in the history of the business. I was sliding and sliding and sliding galore.
No lie, that sounds kind of creepy.
Katie, go back and watch these interviews that I did during the pandemic. A lot of them got done because I was sliding in DMs.
And that's great. But talking about sliding in the DMs.
What?
Sliding little creepy from a lady's perspective.
No. Nothing inappropriate happened. I said, hey, this is who we are. We've interviewed so-and-so and so-and-so. Would you like to come on the show? That's all this was.
I mean, it's not just that. There's a long, paragraph, 3 paragraphs of just resume stuff, and
I can cite it.
You just got to fluff yourself up a little bit, like on a resume.
Yeah, then fluff it up like a pillow, I mean, I'm not out here, sending anonymous messages to Katie, which though, if you follow Katie, those are some of those are weird. Apparently, there are even weirder ones.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a triple threat for the championship of this country, correct?
Yes, there was a triple threat for the championship of this country as Seth Rollins defended against Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. This one goes 14 minutes, 50 seconds, Phillip. Okay, listen up.
14
And Austin gets the win after, I forget what Seth was doing to him, but Seth gets speared and
Seth, he hit the superplex and he was going to go into the Falcon Arrow, has him up for a beautiful stalling suplex, and bam, the what you call it, the spear. Honestly, kind of reminded me of like WrestleMania 31, where Lesnar has Rollins up for the F5, and then Roman spears Lesnar. Yeah.
But the only problem with that one is that finish made a little bit more sense because then Seth took advantage of, whoever was Seth took advantage of Roman and Brock by, hit the curb stomp.
Yeah.
Theory just laid on top of the other person, and Lashley, who took the spear, just like laid down forever, enough time for Theory to get the pin. I called the finish, but I thought I didn't like the finish too much, just because it would have been better if he thought about it and did the steal the finisher thing, which is so overplayed, but they pretty much did the same thing, but also not. And it also kind of made it dumber because of Theory just lying there lifeless, and then he gets
throwing that spear is a lot of energy. It's gonna take some out of you, given the catastrophe that they were all putting each other through. And then Theory, yeah, like he was upside down and he felt his body crashing down. So yeah, he just kind of threw his arm over him. He was conscious enough to do that.
I don't know if he was conscious enough to do that, but
ring IQ.
He was somewhat aware. There was ring awareness.
So much ring awareness.
Ring awareness, baby. We're gonna talk about Dusty in the main event, baby.
But it was a fun match, and personally, I'm very excited for Theory.
Shout out Theory.
Yeah, dumb finish aside, I thought this match was great. I thought they were really hitting their stride late. I very much enjoyed this match. I poo-poo the finish, but I thought the action and the work involved, I thought was fantastic. Probably my best non-War Games match of the night. I don't think it's really that close because the other ones weren't all that great. But probably my second favorite match of the night, to be honest, over the women's War Games match. Anyways, Katie, any other thoughts on this one?
No.
Well, anyways, let's move on to the main event as we have the...
Katie, you look disturbed. What's wrong?
What are you holding?
It's a back scratch on. Back scratch on. Scratch on.
Back scratch on.
Back scratch on.
Are you using that to scratch your back or something else?
I don't know. The way he was just, playing around with it for a second, I was just like, what is he doing? Anyway.
I'm not gonna lie. I do use this to scratch the ankle from time to time. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
How's the ankle, Phillip? Are we still on the IL? Are we still milking that thing?
No, there's no milking. It re-aggravated yesterday.
Okay.
Coaching a tournament. Okay. Yeah, this is a you want to hear this? It's as simple as this. I tripped over a mat, took a hard step, and boom, up towards the shin. Now it hurts. Yeah.
I think we just need to put you in a hard cast.
I think we need to put him in a bubble.
No. I mean, hairline fractured, 6 to 8 weeks recovery. We're going into week 5, so we'll see. Got the X-ray scheduled for this coming week, so we'll know officially. We'll know officially, but I'm pretty certain. I've had multiple sources tell me that this is a hairline fracture.
And then once he's healthy, he'll just blame. He can't re-aggravate it, so then we can't have this wrestling match that he's been promoting for months.
Look, man. I want to do it. It should have happened this past week.
Yeah, and I still would be holding the championship.
I don't know about that, man.
You're just out here saying, "Oh, my ankle hurts."
It does. It does. I don't know if I'll ever be able to.
You know what, Phillip? There's a difference between being hurt and being injured, and I feel like you're just hurt. But you're milking it.
No, brother. I'm injured. I'm injured. I know. I know my body. I'm injured. I've wrestled hurt. I don't have a problem wrestling hurt. I wrestled the day after a car accident. I don't care. But this one.
Well, you're the one that has so much more experience than me. You're still in the wrestling world. You
Man,
should be able to take me on with one leg, no problem. But apparently, this
no.
ankle is just such a big deal that you think you have zero chance against me.
I can't do it. We gotta wait till I'm back at 110, 15, 20, 35%. All that.
All right, moving on before we put Katie to sleep and everybody else to sleep.
What do
The
you
main
mean?
event. The main event.
It's time for the main event.
Okay. Is this where I take over and I get all excited?
No, you don't get all
Not
excited
really excited.
Is this my spot? Is this my spot of the show?
because I do the heavy lifting and you just take all the glory for me.
It's time for my spot.
I don't know. You're the one that runs it apparently, so you can just make a run in whenever.
The main event men's war games, the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, who did a beautiful Death to Ruth tribute, baby, took on the Bloodline, Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, the World Tag Team Champions, the longest reigning tag team champions, the Usos, and the man who is in the midst of the run of a lifetime, the heavyweight undisputed champion of the universe of WWE, Mr. Roman Reigns. The storytelling throughout this show. Bravo. Trips, Hunter, Paul, brava. Roman talking to Jay at some point in time in the show. Roman telling Wise Man to get Sami Zayn, and then Sami coming to the room and talking to Roman and letting him know, like, no, I'm with you. And Roman's face while he's hugging Sami, I'm like, oh, what's gonna go down? And I thought it was great. Roman having a chair in the cage was hilarious. Him stopping Jimmy and sending Sami to help out Jay, who started off the match, was brilliant. And just the storytelling throughout this. Brandon, talk about some of the spots that we got. Butch being Pete Dunne and ripping fingers and ligaments and whatnot.
We got Butch messing around with fingies. We got a spear through a table. We got no one jumped off the cage. We saved that for the women's match, but this match was definitely more tended towards the story involved, the melodramatics of Sami and helping out Jay and just everything around it, and Kevin Owens at the end. It didn't need high spots. There was some decent action throughout, but it was just all built around the Bloodline and built around Sami. And I thought this match was absolutely delivered. I loved it. You don't need. I think this match shows that you don't. If you have a good story involved, you don't need to have all the dog and pony show like the women's match might have had with a lot of the spots. But I just thought this was absolutely fantastic, and the story and the crowd was involved in all of it. And I this is probably one of my more favorite match, probably one of my favorite War Games matches and one of my favorite matches of the year so far.
Oh, absolutely. Katie.
I mean, shout out to Team Brawling Brutes with their complete beats the Bowery with all of the Bloodline, because that was a pretty epic spot. But honestly, you've got to give Sami his flowers, because oh my gosh, like the emotion that you just felt from him the entire time, absolutely top notch. What good storytelling. This was definitely my favorite match of the night. Bloodline once again winning. Theta ones. Oh yeah.
It's almost like someone on this podcast once said that Sami Zayn is one of the best babyface of his generation and could be a top tier talent if given the opportunity.
I did say that.
Yes, you absolutely did say that, Phillip. Congratulations. But I like to pose a question. Everything's all hunky dory. Everyone's loving each other. Sami's a part of the Bloodline. He got elevated. He's probably like a regular Oos now. Is this the time we kick him out of the Bloodline? Because emotions are high. Everybody's loving it. And then you just rip it out from under him and kick him out. Because if Sami could do that to his own pseudo blood of Kevin Owens, what would he do to the Bloodline? And you can't trust him, right?
Look, I will say this before I get to that. Sami Zayn getting the embrace from Jey Uso. Chef's kiss.
It made me feel emotions they probably shouldn't have. I'm like, what the hell is going on with me? What is wrong with me?
It's the meme where the guy's like, it's still real to me, damn it. The big guy that's crying at that indie show where
that dude's the goat. He be doing the rounds on the indie shows. He's still milking that thing. Shout out to him.
That's how you do it, brother. That's how you do it. That's what's still real to me, damn it. I felt that. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
I mean, there was a big pop at Oasis for it. That's for sure.
Yes, popping galore.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, Montreal Elimination Chamber for the title. That's what makes sense. What date is that? Let me see. February what? It's February something. Let's see. Elimination Chamber 2023. It is scheduled for February 18th, 2023. And then let's see. When's the Royal Rumble?
Rumble is the 28th of Jan, I believe.
Okay. So if it's the 28th of January, let's look at the calendar here. I say that's when you really start planting these seeds. So 28th, and then 1, 2, 3. That's 3 weeks. I say you really start building it in December because there's no pay-per-view.
Yep.
Then you just keep building it where maybe he has tension with another member of the bloodline.
You can't get a read on Solo. Solo's just kind of there.
Can't get a read on Solo, or maybe it just he finally comes to blows with Jay, you know, and yeah. But I don't know how they're gonna get there, but we know they're gonna get there. It's gonna be Sami versus Roman for the title, Montreal. It just makes sense. It's either him or Kevin Owens. It's one of the two.
I don't know if Montreal is where you. I mean, I can, if you can get The Rock at WrestleMania, cool, absolutely do it. But I mean, like at this point, seeing the reception that Sami got, and I didn't realize that they have a pay-per-view at premium live event in Montreal. Like I feel that's a part where you can do like a crucial step in the story to really like cement or maybe like make the WrestleMania match happen, or a turn, or just something to like if you want to do the match, that's cool. But I think Sami has elevated himself enough that he can be the person to beat Roman Reigns, or at least have the WrestleMania match against him.
No.
What other person at this very moment, like you can, if you build up Braun Breaker and you have Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble next year, or Cody Rhodes, do you think it's going to mean the same as Sami Zayn winning it? It won't.
Well, we still have Cody in the story of winning it for his father. That's still the thing.
Hey, Triple H on the press conference, someone asked him about storyboard and things. He said he's not afraid to pivot. He might have a destination in mind, but don't be afraid to go off track and take a right when they said to take a left. You can your destination eventually, but
maybe go straight when you're supposed to make a U-turn at a roundabout. We don't know. We don't know. But
I mean, I have faith in Mr. Paul Levesque. He's been putting up some real good shows. I have no doubt that things next year are going to be good.
They're going to be very, very good. Like I said, I don't know how they'll get there, but I think it should be Sami versus Roman in Montreal. That just makes sense.
It does.
It just makes sense. Now
you just trust the process.
This is trust the process, I mean, you got, let's say we do get Rock at Mania. I've always said WrestleMania's 2 nights, guys. Roman can pull double duty. You have to pay him more, but he can pull double duty. I think before Roman loses the championship, I think Sami Zayn will come the closest. He will come closer than Drew. He will come closer than Cena. He will come closer than Logan Paul, believe it or not. He will come extremely close. But then Roman Reigns is going to kick out at 2.9999999 and get the job done and walk out with that undisputed championship. Yeah.
Or what if you floated Kevin Owens? They have the match Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns in Montreal, and maybe Roman just like destroys Kevin Owens so badly that Sami can't see him do that anymore, and then he makes the save for Kevin Owens. And maybe that's how we get there. Like you could do Kevin Owens and Sami against the Usos, but I feel like Sami and Roman is where it's at. It's what you need to do.
I mean, if you look in the eyes of Sami after betraying KO, there was a little bit of emotion there that wasn't necessarily all love for the bloodline.
Well, did you watch the press conference? Were you able to watch that?
No, I never got to watch it.
See that Sammy, he mentioned like, look, we're tied together. You can't mention his career without mentioning me, or vice versa, you know? And if I was able to do that to him, somebody I consider family, then imagine what I'll do to anybody to show my allegiance to this family in the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the thing. And Brandon, have you watched the press conference?
I did. I watched the whole thing live because I was waiting for my my cock to put up the replay because I jumped in midway through. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you think of the press conference? I mean, Triple H said largest Survivor Series gate to date. They broke a record with that. Largest gate for the TD Garden in Boston. Survivor Series did excellent numbers. They did excellent numbers.
And WWE and financial and story wise is doing great right now. The press conference is definitely a different vibe than the AEW press conferences are. I mean, it's much the AEW ones are definitely more like open ended where they can just ask anything. Well, you can kind of tell there's some filtration or the walking on eggshells a little bit, because I don't know how the reporters are, because I mean they had one of the, I don't know what his name is, but one of like the guys in the bump asked a question. Like obviously he's not going to ask the hard hitting questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the future, I would, because you don't need to put a top tier feud for Roman for the Royal Rumble. Sheamus kind of did seem like the alpha and like the leader of his group. I know the whole story was kind of Kevin Owens and them, but I could see Sheamus getting a shot at Royal Rumble, and you can kind of divvy it up to maybe Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber or an Elimination Chamber. I don't know where they're going, but I'd like to enjoy the ride because it seems like it's gonna be a fun ride.
Too. I do want to mention that Roman and Sheamus do have Survivor Series history. Sheamus cashed in Money in the Bank to take the title off of Roman after he just beat Ambrose Ford in that tournament back in the day. But back to the press conference, thought it was good. Becky Lynch talked about she wants to come back better than she ever has, and she's really done that. Bianca obviously mentioned she wants either Charlotte or Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She wants to take down that last horsewoman and etch her name in the history books again. I thought it was really interesting about Hunter, just talk about the future of like the special matches, like the Elimination Chamber, the Money in the Bank, and the Hell in the Cell, and possibly even War Games being a traveling entity like it was, back in the 80s, where like there were like 11 house show matches for War Games, which is crazy. What are your thoughts on that, Katie? What are your thoughts on these not having a significant destination pay-per-view anymore, like we have in the past? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think it's a good idea because it gives you the chance to add more variety to different premium live events without causing like one specific match to be the main thing the entire time.
Yeah.
You want to keep variety in there for spice's sake. Personally, I think that, having something like SummerSlam where they're like, oh, what my faction is upset with your faction, I'm going to challenge you to a War Games match at SummerSlam. Like that'd be really cool.
That would.
So I mean, I'm all for it.
Brandon.
I mean, I've been banging this drum for a long time of the gimmick pay-per-views I think are dumb. And you could tell Triple H would even just like talk about Hell in a Cell, because Hell in a Cell like has a special place in his heart and his career. And he probably didn't like how just Hell in a Cell was just his own thing. And you'd have sometimes 2 or 3, 4 matches of a Hell in a Cell on one show, and it definitely devalues it. And to Katie's point, like you get an extra pop, an extra, beat of just like, oh, it's February, we're gonna have a Hell in a Cell match, even though it's Armageddon or whatever. We don't, because you circle it on the calendar. Oh, October, Hell in a Cell. Oh, I guess Seth and Cody are gonna have a Hell in a Cell. Yeah, they kind of deserve it, but they're gonna have to do it because that's what the calendar tells them to.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a random Hell in a Cell like pay Backlash or or whatever, you know?
Or like WrestleMania, like the Undertaker, Shane McMahon thing. Like, I know that's kind of a dumb storyline, but just even the Undertaker announcing, "Oh, it's going to be Hell in a Cell," that was like a pop because it was like, "Oh, it's not at Hell in a Cell; it's going to be at WrestleMania."
Yeah, and they did but one of the Blood Monies, Edge and Seth inside Hell in the Cell. You know, just it is what it is. Anything else from the press conference that you took away, Brandon?
No, not really. There wasn't anything like super hard hitting. I did find the Triple H one a little bit more intriguing compared to the other ones because he did. I felt like it was more real than the other ones. It was much more kind of like storyline driven. But the Sammy Paul Heyman dynamic I thought was fun. Just them kind of just going back and forth and because Paul doesn't really get to talk freely anymore because he's just kind of representing Roman and doing his shtick there. But kind of hearing Paul talk, I thought was fun.
Yeah, I mean, Paul hit it right on the head. Sami Zayn's now part of the hottest act in the industry, an act that's been the hottest act in the business for two plus years now. You know, you love it, you love it, you love it. All right, guys, what are we going to give Survivor Series games? What's the grade we're going to give it, Katie?
I'd give it a solid A minus. I really enjoyed a lot of almost all of the events. Like I said, the only one that I wasn't super thrilled with was Ronda versus Shotzi, but everything else was really good.
That's what's up, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm right there with her. An A minus, I think, is the right one. The main event match was fantastic. I liked the triple threat match. The women's war games was a spot fest that was fun at times, but had its moments and other times. And the other two matches, I kind of take or leave. So kind of takes it out from being a solid A.
What was the time on the men's one again?
38-30. So just a tad bit shorter than the women's one.
Okay, wow. I didn't. Okay, all right. I love it. This was great, man. The war games are in the book. Brandon, do you know what war games match this was? You know what number for both of them?
No clue. But if you just give me a second, I can go look it up real quick. Oh, look at there happens
40
to
and
be
41.
What?
It's 40 and 41.
Oh, well, good job. Good job. Everybody clap it up. Phillip is a historian. Definitely didn't click that on Wikipedia.
I'm not on Wikipedia. I'm looking right at you.
Okay, then what's the seventh match of all time?
What, the seventh war games match?
Yeah. Yeah.
It involved the Horsemen. I can tell you that.
Oh, congratulations.
I can tell you that for sure. Oh, Jesus.
It was a house show in Huntsville, Alabama, July 12th, 1988. I mean, how could you not forget Nikolai Koloff, Sting, Lex Luger, and the Road Warriors taking on the Four Horsemen? I mean, come on.
How can you not? I'll give it an A minus as well. Loved it. Loved Survivor Series. Thank you guys so much. We're back Thursday. We're talking whatever there is to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about the Teddy Hart duck because that is some stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe. Diamonds are forever. So is the Microphone Messiah.